Hello, welcome to another 3 o'clock read. I'm going to read you a story and it's called Giraffes Can't Dance and it's written by Giles Andreae and Guy Parker-Rees. And the blurb says, Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. Gerald would love to join in with the other animals at the jungle dance, but everyone knows that giraffes can't dance. Or can they? There are 3 monkeys dancing, having a good time. And 2 lions and 2 warthogs. Where do you think the story is set? What can you see in the picture? There are very few trees. There's one there. There's some in the distance. And it's very flat, isn't it? I can see a few jungle animals and a very tall giraffe. Do you think it might be in the plains of Africa? Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. No. Now every year in Africa, they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. Look at Gerald's face. How do you think he's feeling? Everybody else looks happy. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rocked and rolled. The lions danced a tango which was elegant and bold. The chimps did a cha-cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely and he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. Hey, look at clumsy Gerald! The animals all laughed. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, don't be daft. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted on to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clod. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on, but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that That lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really wanted to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin, and Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. He did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. "I'm dancing, yes, I'm dancing, Gerald cried. Then one by one each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we have ever seen." Oh, look at him go. "How is it? Can you dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twizzled round and finished with a bow. Gerald looks quite pleased, doesn't he? Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." The end. I'm so glad that Gerald didn't get put off by what the other animals were saying to him. He used his ruby powers, didn't he? And he didn't give up. He found a way to dance. Well done, Gerald. Is there anything that you find difficult to do? How do you think you can get better at doing something that you find quite tricky? Have a think and let somebody know.